If you're even a bit interested in modern Chinese mainstream movies, you probably heard about the detective or judge Renjie, the main character of many Chinese movies, which have become especially numerous in the last few years of the rise in popularity of cheap internet movies. Because of Renjie is in fact a folklore character, everybody makes movies about him, so it shouldn't be surprising that their plots are often do resemble one another, and we could build a small army of actors who played Detective D. This particular Renjie fired Kirin in the general chronology of the cycle is somewhere at the very beginning, the title character performed by the comedian Huang Yi-Xin, who's popular in China, for whom this is the first work in internet movie. There isn't yet a wise man with experience and regalia, but a young and tenacious investigator who's just arriving to serve in the capital. The insidious and cruel Empress Wu Zetian hasn't yet officially taken the throne, but she has already secretly seized plenary by taking advantage of the weakness of the Emperor, who affected by unknown disease, and Di has yet to approach her, having figured out the mysterious case of the Fire Kirin, a flaming monster that predicts dangerous changes by its appearance. It's interesting to note that it isn't the first time that the director of the Fire Kirin, Tong Hui, refers to Detective D. In 2018, he made Renjie and the Deadly Heavenly Eye, and 2 years later, Renjie and the Sea Palace of the Dragon King. We get acquainted with the Detective D and two other heroes at the very beginning of the movie, through an action scene on a night street where these three witness the appearance of a Fire Kirin. In addition to D, Li Musin, who is the city constable, and a young girl named Shuan Nan, the adopted chief judge's daughter, are involved in the story. At first, she meets the visiting detective with hostility, but the misunderstanding between them is resolved and these three begin to act together, step by step, approaching the solution. In order not to dive into spoilers, it's better to end the description of the plot at this point, but we can only mention that in the process the characters will unravel the tragic love story of the son of a noble civil official Li Bi to a poor dancer Morong Ling, who is most directly involved in what is happening. In this regard, Renjie Fire Kirin resembles another famous movie from this cycle, Young Detective D, Rise of the Sea Dragon, where the story was twisted in a very similar way, and although the new movie is much inferior to it, but this is hardly surprising. Rise of the Sea Dragon was filmed for wide distribution by a real master of fantasy action, Zhuo-Heng, and cost several tens of millions of dollars. Anyway, if we remember that Fire Kirin is a movie for online streaming, then it's hard to make serious claims against it. Yes, this is quite a secondary and unoriginal movie, but only those who watch such movies at regular intervals will be able to feel this very secondary and unoriginal. The rest of this movie has every chance to genuinely like it. The plot is developed dynamically, the movie is made and mounted very professionally. There isn't much action, but it's quite lively. The actors are ungrateful and charming, and the only thing that can upset a little is the quality of special effects. They noticeably hardly ever live up to the modern Hollywood level. However, according to the plot, there aren't so many of them, and the detective intrigue in a very modest timing of less than an hour and a half won't let you get bored. Of course, Fire Kirin is far from the best movie about Detective D, and for the first acquaintance with the character, it's better to choose something from the Zhuo-Heng trilogy. Detective D and the Mystery of Phantom Flame, the already mentioned Young Detective D Rise of the Sea Dragon, or Detective D and the Four Heavenly Kings. But if you already seen these movies and the soul asks for something similar with a twisted detective story framed by Eastern mysticism, then Fire Kirin has every chance you will like it.